Welcome back to Clue or No Clue, the Beyond the Map's Edge online game of twists, turns, and rabbit holes so deep, you'll need a miner's helmet just to read the Discord chat. Here's how it works. The community throws out theories, wild ideas, and a few "did he really say that?" moments from Justin Posey. And we vote. Clue or no clue. And of course, I'll add a few bad jokes along the way, because what's a treasure hunt without dad jokes? So first up, GDBME says, quote, "Nothing, really nothing, can be dumber than a freaking rainbow trout, but I'm okay looking for it." Now, I don't know what's dumber, a rainbow trout, or the fact that half the group started Googling trout migration patterns at 2 a.m. I mean, forget gold bars. We're about to discover the spawning habits of Idaho fish. Is that a clue, or just a wild goosefish chase? You decide, then Dill Pickle Jar drops this one. Justin said he made 4 trips from his vehicle to hide the treasure. But wait for it, he says vehicle, not car. Cue the conspiracy music. Does this mean Justin used a bike, a kayak, a hoverboard, maybe a rented llama? Meanwhile, Jenny chimes in to remind us that in the audiobook, Justin literally carves a rule in stone. Never shall wheel touch checkpoint soil. So yes, apparently the treasure is safe from your Prius, but your mountain unicycle? That's still on the table. And then it gets even juicier. Numbers start flying. 4, 2, 2, 2, 3, duo, 3, 1, 0. Which honestly sounds less like a clue and more like my kids smashing buttons on the Xbox. But then someone circles back to the dragon bracelet, claiming it shows 45 and 42, meaning the search area is between 45 degrees and 42 degrees north latitude. Cue dramatic gasp. Montana, Wyoming, Idaho. Basically, all the states we were already arguing about. Poncho, of course, says, Justin wouldn't eliminate half the map like that. And let's be real, he's right. Justin's not handing us a treasure map. He's handing us riddles, rabbit holes, and just enough hope to keep us buying camping gear. Finally, the community debates the famous "less than a mile from your car" quote. Does that mean less than a mile to the treasure? Less than a mile to figure out the clue? Or less than a mile to the nearest ice cream stand? Bubblegum insists it's less than a mile, period. Lateralis says, hang on, figure it out is not the same as retrieve it. Which, fair point. Because if this treasure is at the bottom of a well like Funkle and Attic joked, you're going to need ropes, pulleys, and maybe a construction permit. So there you have it. Rainbow trout conspiracies, checkpoint loopholes, bracelet numbers, and the eternal mile-long mystery. Which of these are clues? Which are rabbit holes? That's up to you. Drop your votes in the comments. Clue or no clue. And remember, if your solve involves a llama, a flux capacitor, or the Oregon coast, you're already winning, at least in entertainment value. Semantics party. JP took 4 trips from his vehicle, not car, to the hide. Add audiobook rule number 1 vibes. Never shall wheel touch checkpoint soil. Result? Non-wheeled vehicle loopholes get airtime. Kayak, pack raft, float tube, pack animal. Zelius tried float tubing to an island and lived to tell the tale. Barely. And there's a book mention of an UBCO e-bike attempt that didn't pan out, so wheels likely abandoned before the checkpoint. A float tube is technically round, so is that a wheel? Asking for a friend with wet socks, clue or no clue, it's your turn. Yummy Sandwich drops a banger. What lives in time? Not just history, motion, shadows, clocks, cyclical phenomena. This might cue when to see something, like a shadow alignment, rainbow angle 42 degrees, tide or timed flow. That dovetails with you'll have time to plan retrieval. This lens is powerful. You're not only going where, you're going when. Shadows and clocks equal a clue. A rainbow may just be a mirage in the sky. Some searchers are bounded to Washington and Oregon this summer. Proximity bias is real. Sometimes the poem wants you elsewhere. Vote. Clue if regional anchors come from the poem, not your calendar. No clue if the map got small because your vacation days did. Wordplay suggested ruin, but guidance says nothing to do with man-made structures. If a step requires a building, toss it. If a town name or natural formation evokes ruin without being one, maybe. Vote. Clue if the interpretation stays natural. No clue if it leans on built environments. Dams and expansion history align with surges, arcs, granite, and wonder. Strong narrative, yet remember the natural feature rule. Use dams as context, not as the step. Vote. Clue if the landform works without the dam. No clue if the dam itself does heavy lifting. Bold claim. Documentary visuals point to the exact location. If true, it should be confirmable with independent features, not just vibes. Vote. Clue if you can ground truth the frame with multiple land cues. No clue if it's a single look-alike shot. Claim. The Beaverhead County boundary lines match the book cover's outer shape, especially the NW top, so the cover itself may be a regional map silhouette. Vote. Clue if you can overlay the cover and boundary with repeatable, multi-point alignment. Rivers, ridges, corners match at scale. No clue if it's pareidolia. One corner lines up, the rest don't. Debate. The title uses maps, not maps. Does that telegraph one specific map edge we should key on? Vote. Clue if singular grammar consistently points to a specific name map or border. No clue if it's just a tidy title without cartographic intent. Observation. Known fishing spots, e.g. Fish Trap, Anaconda Sportsman Area, line up near where the hypothetical X would fall, possibly echoing round the bend. Vote. Clue if those bends coincide with distinct poem cues, double arcs, granite sightlines. No clue if it's just a cluster of good fishing holes, it's Montana. There are many. Debate. Beyond the map's edge, or there's treasure inside. Some hunters argue studying both hunts helps cross-train pattern recognition, since both authors reference each other and the broader treasure hunt culture. Vote. Clue if cross-reading sharpens real strategies. No clue if it's just expanding your bookshelf while shrinking your wallet. Some suggest reading the poem like a loop. First pass leads to an area, second tells you what to do. Clever, but does complexity fit the writing timeline? Vote. Clue if wraparound produces clean, non-contradictory instructions. No clue if it requires mental gymnastics beyond the author's stated intent. Page 200 features a lobster coin, Anguilla EC8 gold-plated. Others spotted neighboring coins too. If coins serve as identifiers or map markers, that's useful. Vote. Clue if coin choice ties to location or wordplay, lobster, claw, river, island. No clue if it's just collectible filler. Photos from the Pioneer Scenic Byway and Wisdom, Montana sparked excitement. Payphone still works. Scenic, yes. But is it part of the solve? Vote. Clue if local features match on stanza language. No clue if it's a fun road trip journal. Some argue not every stanza is a clue, just like Fenn's poem. But the counterpoint, the poem leads to an exact spot, so each stanza likely carries weight. Vote. Clue if exact spot means a specific natural feature identifiable BOTG. No clue if exact is interpreted too loosely and allows for a vague area. Welcome back to another round of Clue or No Clue, the show where every stanza, map edge, and late-night theory gets its moment in the spotlight. Today's debate? Do the poem's lines point us toward places, people, or chapters in the book? Or is the answer all of the above? Some hunters argue each stanza maps cleanly to a location. Cities like Wisdom, rivers like the Big Hole, or landmarks named in the stories. Others think they reference people or even entire chapters. And then there's Justin's hint. The poem has multiple ways to solve it. That complicates things. Vote. Clue if you believe every line points to a tangible place. No clue if chasing categories only muddies the waters. Poem, show, book, or book, show, poem? Searchers are still wrestling with which medium drives the solve. Does the poem unlock the book, or is the book a decoder for the poem? Vote. Clue if sequence really matters for cracking the structure. No clue if the hunt is designed to work from any entry point. Is the poem's language metaphorical, or does it call out actual landmarks? Shadows, bends, holes, and brides. Do they exist out there, or only as figurative pointers? Vote. Clue if figurative language narrows to a literal feature, BOTG. No clue if interpretation drifts too far into metaphor without ground truth. What you seek, you already know. Some interpret this as meaning the checkpoint will confirm itself once found. You'll see the bend, the hole, the arcs. Others take it as a nudge that the answer has been inside the text the whole time. Vote. Clue if the stanza functions as a meta-instruction. No clue if it's just poetic closure. The longer the hunt runs, the more some lean toward focusing on just the poem and book, ignoring noise and side chatter. Purist lens or tunnel vision? Vote. Clue if staying inside the text filters out false flags. No clue if outside context, like interviews, drop new hints. One hunter asked about the bride, and the answer they got was, boob. Twice. Was that a cryptic joke or just trolling? Vote. Clue if hidden wordplay is the real answer. No clue if it's distraction wrapped in humor. Have you found her face? Sparked debate. Is it an actual mountain face, a figurative face in a name, or just another metaphor? Vote. Clue if face is a deliberate double meaning that aligns with geography. No clue if we're seeing shapes where none were intended. So what do you think? Does each stanza point to a person, a place, or a page? Or is the real trick that it points to all three at once? And that wraps up today's round of Clue or No Clue. We've sifted through theories, weighed the evidence, and laughed at the rabbit holes along the way. But remember, whether a detail is a clue or just clever noise, the real adventure is in the chase itself. If you've got your own take, drop it in the comments. Was it a solid lead or a shiny distraction? Either way, the conversation keeps us sharp. Thanks for tuning in, treasure hunters. Until next time, keep your maps close, your ciphers handy, and always ask yourself, clue or no clue?